everyone. Good morning. Welcome back to your Show Me Ma'am's English class. So, how was your day yesterday? How was your day yesterday? Okay, so I guess those who had revised or gone through yesterday's video on adverb, you must have understood. What am I asking about, right? Okay, so yesterday we dealt with a very simple topic that was adverb, and I just, introduced the topic. Okay, so today what we'll do is we'll start with the very first type, that is the adverb of time. So my question was, how was your day yesterday? So yesterday is denoting what? It is denoting time. So today we'll talk about the very first type, that is the adverb of time. Now, as you know, time in itself talks about when, okay, probably what time of the day. Was it morning? Was it evening? Was it quite early? Was it late? What was it? So anything which denotes time, and it modifies the word. So that is an adverb, because adverb means the word which talks more about the verb. Okay, so that is an adverb. So you must have seen, like you are probably observing, that I have shared a whiteboard which is very much visible on my screen, and I have written adverbs and its types. And then the very first which we are talking about, that is adverb of time, which generally gives you the answer to the question when. Okay, so my example here is Jane must eat early. So what is the verb here? The verb here, let me use another color so that it is visible to all of you. Okay, so I will, just draw, and let me draw an arrow, and probably now I can change another color to make it a little bit interesting. Okay, so this is the verb. This whiteboard is something new which is there in your Zoom. So if you're working on Zoom, so you can have fun with this whiteboard. Okay, so Jane is the noun, and here eat is the verb. And what is this early? This early is actually denoting when did she eat, like when, in the sense, I'm not talking about the time, but yes, when was it? Like, was it early in the morning, or was it late, or what was that? Okay, so early is the adverb, and this early is actually denoting, modifying the verb eat. Okay, so we can take another example, probably like, let me write down. So this time I will not use this pen, but I will use a text box. So I will write she has met Uma today. She has met Uma today. Okay, so let me extend. Yeah, so let me now, yeah, so I think this is better. This is visible, right? Okay, so she has met Uma today. So she is here. The pronoun met is, okay, now again I will, underline this Uma. Line tool, here I go. Here I change the color. So let me underline the verb. The verb is met, and let me change the color again. Okay, so what is today? Today is nothing but the adverb. Okay, so let me write so that it is easier for all of you to understand. So this is verb. Yeah, let me change the color so that it is visible. Okay, and this is the adverb. Okay. I know it is taking time because I don't have the stylus. So next time, let me see. I can, go for it. Okay. So she has met Uma today. Met is the verb and today is the adverb. And the word today is actually talking more about the verb. Like when did she meet? Did she meet yesterday? Or is she planning to meet a little bit, after her class gets over? Or is it today? That means today, right? The very present day, okay? So that is what is the adverb of time. All right. Now, next, let me stop sharing this so that I can share something else also. Okay. All right. So here I go. Now, as you can see that I have got so many things to share with you regarding the adverb of time. Let's take this one. The word which expresses time and tells us when something happens is called adverb of time, which I have explained earlier. Now, you have many such words which talk about adverb of time, okay? So the simpler ones, let's go through it. It's early, late, today, before, since, ago, then you have after, now, soon, immediately, later, afterwards, yet, first, last, lately, still, just. These are some simple adverbs of time, which when used in a sentence, you need to just, your brains, your signals should be received that, oh my God, these words, they are nothing but they are adverbs of time. Okay. For example, when placed at the end of a sentence like, I have to go tomorrow. Okay. So I have to go when? I'm getting an answer to this question that I have to go tomorrow. If I say, today is a beautiful day. Okay. So I'm talking about today. That means the very day, the present day. Okay. Tomorrow, your fortune will be sealed. So be cautious. Okay. So tomorrow means I'm talking about the day after, and that is denoting again the time. Now let me give you something more interesting. Okay. Adverb of time, you can also have in the form of interrogative sentences. Remember, the sentences which ask questions, or probably you can also decipher by by getting a clue with regard to the question tags. Remember, like when, how, these are the question tags, the words which when used in the very first place of the sentence denotes that the sentence is actually a part of adverb of time. I mean, the question tags which are used, they denote adverb of time. For example, when did it happen? How often does it happen? How long has it been going on? Okay. And then you have the words like soon, already, tomorrow, now, early, late, hardly ever, regularly. That means she does the work regularly. That is again talking about time. How often? Okay. So it is regularly. Now here, there is also something called the adverb of frequency. So we'll deal with that a little later. All right. Now, let me share something else, probably this one. Okay. So we moved into a new house last week. When did we move? Okay, so it was last week. Did you hold any housewarm party that day? Oh yeah. So that means whenever I'm denoting something more about the verb, and those words which are used to modify the verb, that is nothing but the adverb of time. She stayed at her grandma's house all day. So all day is what? It is again denoting the time, that is the whole day. Okay. That means she did not go back to her own house. All right. So for how long? for how often a certain action happened. You must be guessing like why Shomi ma'am used often. So these days, children, even if you get to listen to the word often as pronounced as often, so that is also correct. Okay, so you need not get into a skirmish that often is the correct way of pronouncing or often. Okay, so it is both correct, often and often. All right. Okay, now adverbs of time, there are some more words like always, already, annually, weekly, hourly, daily, early, all these, ly. Remember I told you a trick, a tip, how to know that the word is an adverb. So precisely, you'll find all these ly verbs, words rather, in the form of adverb of manner. But yes, even in adverb of time, you can find them. Okay, like eventually, finally, hourly. All right. You can also have, prepositions which are used in the form of adverb of time. Like, I stayed there since I was born. Okay, I stayed there since I was born. That means I'm talking about the time period that, okay, I was born in say 2004 or 2005, until now I'm staying there. So that pretty time span I have been staying there. Okay, now next is words like tonight, yesterday, usually, weekly, yearly, then, then, then. So definitely, there are such words like since is there also in the form of preposition. So please remember the usage. Usage matters a lot. Okay. All right. So let's see if I can have some good videos so that it's really nice for all of you to understand. I know children love videos. So let me check if I can get hold of some good videos. Okay, I do have. But then yes, it should not be a little babyish type. So let me go for something which is of our own level, junior school as well as the senior school level.
I think we should explore a few solutions.
Grammarly suggestions catch when your tone might undermine your message. Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Okay, so first let me stop. And now I'll share so that, I can share sound as well. All right. Okay, so she's Fanny, a British teacher, okay? And let us see what she's talking about. And I hope it is all about adverbs. Yeah, it is. So I think she'll be dealing with specifically the adverbs of time, okay? So please jot down all that you find important in your notebooks, not in your school notebooks, yes, but in your rough copies. Let's see what she's saying.
Welcome to this English course on adverbs. And in this video, I'm going to focus on adverbs of time. Now, adverbs of time tell us when an action happens and also how long and how often. Now, these adverbs are extremely common in English, so you really need to know about them. So let's start learning together. Let's now take a look at a few example sentences telling us when something happened. She ate ice cream yesterday. The adverb in this sentence is, have you noticed? Yesterday, of course, and it's an adverb of time. When did you eat ice cream? Yesterday. I see you now. Now, where is the adverb in this sentence? Of course, the adverb is now. Again, it's an adverb of time. When do I see you? Now. I tell him daily. The adverb is daily. Again, adverb of time. We met last year. Can you see the adverb? Of course, the adverb in this case is last year. Again, notion of time. When did we meet? Last year. And finally, he will call you later. The adverb in this sentence is also an adverb of time. It is later. So these are all adverbs of time. And as you can see in those examples, usually adverbs of time are at the end of the sentence. Let's do a bit of pronunciation practice. Repeat after me, please. She ate ice cream yesterday.
She ate ice cream yesterday.
I see you now.
I see you now.
I tell him daily.
I tell him daily.
We met last year.
We met last year.
He will call you later.
He will call you later.
Good, guys. Let's move on. Let's now move on to example sentences showing us how long something happened. These adverbs are also usually placed at the end of the sentence. But let's have a look. She stayed home all day. Which part of this sentence is an adverb? Can you see it? Of course, all day. And it tells us how long she stayed home. I studied in Canada for a year. Now in this sentence, for a year tells us how long I studied in Canada. He has taught English since 1990. How long has he taught English? Since 1990. I studied English for 4 hours. Which part is the adverb? For 4 hours. How long did I study English? For 4 hours. And finally, we have lived in New Zealand since 2005. The adverb is, of course, since 2005. As you can see, adverbs are not necessarily just one word, okay? Since 2005, 2 words. For 4 hours, 3 words. Okay, so they're not just one word. Sometimes they're more than one. Now let's do a bit of pronunciation practice. Repeat after me. She stayed home all day.
She stayed home all day.
I studied in Canada for a year.
I studied in Canada for a year.
He has taught English since 1990.
He has taught English since 1990.
I studied English for 4 hours.
I studied English for 4 hours.
We have lived in New Zealand since 2005.
We have lived in New Zealand since 2005.
Good, guys. Let's move on. Adverbs telling us how often express the frequency of an action. They're usually placed before the main verb, but after the auxiliary verb, such as be.
Okay, so that was all about the adverb of time. Okay, now since adverb of time and adverb of frequency are a little bit related, okay, so we'll be trying to cover up these 2 types together so that it is there intact in your brains and it does not get flushed out. Okay, so now adverb of frequency is, basically it talks about how often, like how many times, and you can say, supposing if I talk about the words like regularly or every day, so that means how many times did it keep on happening, right? So it shows us how often something happens, okay? And we'll see how it is placed. Like you'll find it place, you'll be having auxiliary verbs, you'll be having the main verb, and then it might also occur towards the end of the sentence. Okay, so just pay attention to this video and try and jot down the important points, all right, because it is there in your grammar books. So those who are probably in Sunbeams, or maybe the schools which are following the grammar book lined with Cornerstone, they are having this in the form of the adverb of frequency. But yes, in the other books, it might be there under the topic adverbs of time. Okay, so let's see what Fanny has to talk about regarding the adverb of frequency.
Be, may, have, or must. The only exception is if the main verb is the verb to be, in which case the adverb goes after the main verb. Let's have a look at a few example sentences. I often eat pizza. Can you spot the adverb? It's often, and as you can see, it is placed before the main verb, which is eat.
Okay, so one thing which you have to keep a note of, that is the placement of the adverb is immediately before the main verb. As in this sentence, I often eat pizza. So the verb here is the main verb rather. Here is what? It is eat. Okay, eat. Okay, now how many times you keep on eating pizza? That is the adverb, that is often. All right, now in this sentence, you can very well see that this adverb is placed immediately before the main verb. All right, so let's see, let's move ahead.
Eat, so I often eat. The second example, he has never drunk cola. In this case, we have an auxiliary verb, the auxiliary verb have, and the main verb is drunk. So the adverb is placed between the auxiliary verb and the main verb.
Children, please note down this. This is actually the position of the adverb, okay? So number one is that the adverb might be, immediately before the main verb. That is first thing to be remembered. The second thing to be remembered is the adverb of frequency can be placed between the main verb and the auxiliary verb. So auxiliary verb, I mean to say has, have, had, okay? And after, the placement has to be something like the subject, then the auxiliary verb, then the adverb, then the main verb, and then you have the object.
You must always brush your teeth. Same rule applies. We have an auxiliary verb, must, okay? And we have the main verb, brush. So the adverb goes after the auxiliary verb, but before the main verb.
So basically here, what is the theory? The theory is, you can write down. Okay, so let me, in fact, share a whiteboard so that, just hang on, I'll write. Let me stop sharing. Okay, so I want all of you guys to, write it. Okay, so the equation is something like, you have the subject plus, second is your auxiliary verb, then you have the adverb. Okay, I'm just writing in initials. Then after the adverb you have the main verb. Okay, where is the eraser? Yeah. So okay. So I'll use this. Yeah. So let me write it as main verb. Main verb, and then you have the object of the sentence. I can write predicate or object. It means the same. Okay, so this is one equation. The second equation was, rather it is the other way around. You have the subject, then you have the auxiliary verb, yeah, okay, then just a second, let me, yeah, this has to be the main verb. This has to be the main verb. Okay, subject, main verb, and then you can say like the adverb. This is one way. This is one way, okay? Then the position can be like immediately before the main verb. That is also there. So if I go about with this like subject, main verb and adverb, so it can be something like he visits him daily. Okay. So daily is what? How many times? So it is, maybe regularly. So he meets her regularly. So he is the subject, meet is the main verb, and then regularly is how often. So adverb of frequency. Now, if I say she often commits the same mistake. Okay, so she is the subject, then you have the adverb. Okay, she often commits the same mistake. So this is the main verb, and then you have the rest part of the sentence, that is the predicate. Okay, so this can be also one setup. So please keep a note regarding the position of the adverbs. So let me maybe I can like draw some lines. Okay, so you see, one is when you have the auxiliary verb and you have the main verb and adverb is coming in between. Okay, then one can be when the adverb is coming immediately before the main verb. Okay, then here it can also come after the main verb. So these are the things which you really, really, really have to keep in your mind. Okay, so let me stop here and I shall continue. I hope you must have jotted down this, or you may click a photo. Okay, so let me stop and continue with the explanation. All right, so let's see what Fanny has to give us more.
You must always brush. I am seldom late. So the main verb is the verb to be. Be careful. So in this case, the adverb goes after the main verb. I am seldom late. And finally, he rarely lies. The main verb is lies, so the adverb goes before the main verb. He rarely lies. Okay? Let's do a bit of pronunciation practice now. Repeat after me. I often eat pizza.
I often eat pizza.
He has never drunk cola.
He has never drunk cola.
You must always brush your teeth.
You must always brush your teeth.
I am seldom late.
I am seldom late.
He rarely lies.
He rarely lies.
Great job, guys. Let's move on. Some adverbs expressing how often express the exact number of times that an action happened. They're called definite adverbs of frequency. And in this case, they're usually placed at the end of the sentence. Let's have a look at a few examples. I visit my dentist yearly. The adverb is yearly, okay, once a year, and it expresses the exact number of times that I visit my dentist. It's a definite adverb of frequency, so it's placed at the end of the sentence.
So you see, children, as we have discussed before about the placement, the position of the adverbs, and I had mentioned in that, in that whiteboard screen, the placement can be immediately after the main verb also. So here, you won't find in your books written as definite adverbs of frequency. Don't get flabbergasted by that. But yes, you can find it in the form of adverb of frequency. So basically here, what we'll be dealing with is the definite period of time. So it can be regularly, it can be weekly, hourly, yearly, half yearly. Okay, so don't get confused with that. So basically, when I know like the frequency means how many times, how often that particular action is happening, so that is what is frequency, and that is what here in the video is being talked about in the form of definite frequency. Okay, so don't get confused with that. It is basically the adverb of frequency.
Other example, he goes to the gym once a week. Again, we have a definite adverb of frequency, which is
once a week.
Once a week. I work 5 days a week. Same thing, we have a definite adverb of frequency, which is 5 days a week.
So you see here, the adverb of frequency need not be only one word. Okay, so it can be a group of words, like here we have 5 days a week, or it can be one word as weekly, one word as hourly or yearly or regularly. Okay, so you will not mention only 5 days, but the whole group of word, that is 5 days a week. Okay, let's move ahead.
So it's placed at the end of the sentence. And finally, I saw the movie 5 times. Again, 5 times expresses the exact number of times that I saw the movie.
Hey guys, I have a question for you. How many freelancers are there in India right now?
Let's do a bit of pronunciation practice. Repeat after me. I visit my dentist yearly.
I visit my dentist yearly.
He goes to the gym once a week.
He goes to the gym once a week.
I work 5 days a week.
I work 5 days a week.
I saw the movie 5 times.
I saw the movie 5 times.
Good. Moving on. Now, if you want to use more than one adverb of time in a sentence, you should put them in the following order. First, how long? Second, how often? And finally, when? Let's take a look at a very good example sentence. He taught at the school for 10 days every month last year. Now, as you can see, first we're told how long for 10 days, then we're told how often every month, and finally we're told when exactly last year. This is a very good sentence using the different kinds of adverbs of time in the right order. So I hope you can do the same. Let's practice pronunciation together now. Repeat after me. He taught at the school for 10 days every month last year.
He taught at the school for 10 days every month last year.
Good job, guys. Let's now practice together. Okay, guys, let's do a bit of extra practice. I have 4 example sentences for you to spot adverbs of time. So let's get started. He has been to Canada 3 times. Can you spot the adverb?
It's 3 times.
Of course, the adverb is the adverb of frequency 3 times. Okay? How often has he been to Canada? 3 times. The second example is, generally, I don't like to eat spicy food. The adverb is generally, and remember I told you some adverbs of frequency work well at the beginning of a sentence if you want to emphasize the frequency. So generally is one of them. Another example would be sometimes. Next example, he will clean his room regularly from now on.
Regularly.
Now be careful, in this case we have 2 adverbs. The first one,
It's
regularly. The
And
second
then
one, from now on.
From now.
Keeping the order, regularly is how often, followed by when, from now on. And finally, I've been going to church for 4 days every month since 1996.
This has got 3
3
adverbs.
adverbs in this case. How long for 4 days? How often
Every month. And then you
When?
have the
Since
since
1996.
1996. Okay,
Let's
children?
practice pronunciation.
So basically, you need not get worried if you find that in a sentence there are more than 1 adverbs. Okay, so let me stop here. So you see, that is how we tend to, look for the adverbs. Do remember the positioning of the adverbs. The adverbs, if you wish to emphasize, so it has to be placed towards the front, okay? Like sometimes I feel like going for a walk, okay? Generally, I don't wish to eat junk food, okay? And then you need to again remember the placement that the adverb of frequency of time can be placed towards the end. It can be placed towards the beginning. It can be between the auxiliary verb and the main verb. It can be immediately before the main verb, and at the same time, it can be placed immediately after the main verb as well. Okay, so that's all from my side. So today we learned basically 2 types of adverbs. The first being the adverb of time, the second being the adverb of frequency, which talked about for how long, how often, and since when. Okay, So I'll stop you. Please practice as much as possible from your textbooks. You can go through any random worksheets which are available on Pinterest, and then you have many such on Google. Okay. So from my side, it's adios. Take care. Have a nice day ahead. Don't go out in the sun. It's too much in Varanasi. I think it's around 41 to 42 degrees centigrade. I don't know about the other places, but yes, if you have to move out, ensure that you're carrying a bottle of glucose. It can be Tang, it can be simply glucose. And yes, don't forget to wear your sun gears. Keep your umbrellas. You have such beautiful hats. You have, yes, COVID is still there. It has again, tried to play hide and seek. So please take care of yourselves. Wear your mask, have your sanitizers. Just be cheerful and be positive. That's all from my side. Tata, bye-bye. Take care. Love you all. Stay blessed. See you tomorrow with yet next 2 types of adverbs. Bye-bye.